bum 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 bum. All right, here we go. Good morning and welcome to this episode of Vision Alignment, where we all have to understand that we all have blindness in our lives. If we can understand that blindness, if we can understand what we're not seeing that we should be, and then take those blinders off, and maybe even put the blinders on, and put the blinders on in order to be able to see our vision. If you can see your vision, then you can start to understand how much it's important for you to have your vision aligned with your core beliefs, your core values, your core strengths. We'll just call it your core. So understanding your core is the first step, but then making sure that it's aligned with your vision, that's key. And that's why we're talking with people today, like my friends, and I'm so honored to call them friends, Roxanne, Kaufman, Elliott, I got her name right this time, and Peter, Margaritis. Let's bring them on here. Roxanne. Good morning, Roxanne.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Peter.
Morning, Brian. How the heck are you?
We're great. How are you?
Ideal on this cold February day.
Ideal. I've never heard anybody say that they're ideal.
Well, Peter is absolutely ideal. Yeah, I'm just perfect.
Okay, fair enough.
None of that is true, by the way, Brian.
Of course it is.
Oh, okay.
She's great. Let me ask you both. So, Roxanne, I'll let you go first since you're the lady.
Thank you.
What is your first recollection of knowing your vision?
Oh, wow. Well, a first response to that would be it kind of depends upon what vision. But if I go back to my first thoughts about visioning my life, I was a kid. I mean, I had this vivid imagination that was just crazy all the time. And I just remember thinking all these great things that I was going to do in the world. I was going to write books. I was going to be a grand dame of some kind. I don't know. It was cool stuff. So yeah, I mean, I thought about that stuff when I was just a girl.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Peter?
Well, apparently I'm a very late bloomer compared to that story. I truly think I didn't get that vision. I had a lot of different things I thought I wanted to do, but I didn't get that vision until I started teaching at the Ohio Dominican University. That's a big joke in Columbus, right? And I realized that I could teach a very difficult course like accounting, and I could draw upon my business experience as well as my comedic experience and have an impact in the classroom. And then once that started working, I said, oh man, I need to do something more with this. There's something there. So once again, I was a late bloomer.
Awesome. If you want to hear more, stick around. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate this. Tell me, I know a little bit of your story because we both we're all three of us are members of the National Speakers Association. But tell me a little bit about your story outside of that. So I know we've talked a little bit, but one at a time, please.
A little bit about our stories, Brian,
Yeah.
outside of NSA.
Yeah. And Peter,
Well,
if you have something to interject, feel free.
jump in.
I'll let Roxanne go first.
Thank you so much. So I've had 3 careers in my life. The first was in the performing arts. I worked in the theater. I am a theater major out of school and spent a whole lot of time doing that, restoring old theaters, running old theaters all over the country, and loved it. And then realized at a certain point during that time that I really wanted to eat something other than peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In other words, I was making no money whatsoever, and it was getting a little annoying. So I made a complete switch. I was living in Florida at the time, so I moved to the East Coast. I always wanted to be in New England, so I went to work for a construction company. Why not? I was the only woman they had ever hired, and I went in and quickly joined the executive ranks. I was with them for 14 years. We were bought out. Wow. And then it was just a travesty. It was just a horrible situation, but there was good in it. And then I started my own business. I decided to go into leadership, which has been the best of both worlds. It's kind of a great balance of left brain and right brain, where you get to work with organizations and companies and people. But you also get to work in the right brain in the development of real, authentic, and genuine leadership within each one of us. So I could go on and on and on, but that's just an overview. Wow. 3 careers: the theater, the construction industry, and leadership development in my own firm that I've had since 2005.
I've got to ask you more. So tell me about the construction industry. What did you do for them? How did you start with them?
Very carefully. Yeah, there were 3 guys who owned the company. There was a construction guy, Peter, forgive me, but a bean counter, a c.p.a. guy, a finance guy, and a chemist, a German chemist and engineer. And I came in there from the theater, and they said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Because I'm interested in what you do." I was somewhat fascinated by it. So we had a conversation, and they said, "Well, we really like you." And the important thing here is that I had been a strategic planner all through my nonprofit days. I was a business builder, business development, strategic planning, and administration. So I knew some stuff. So I said, "I don't know anything about your business, but I know how to make things hum." So they said, "Okay, what do you want your title to be?" So this goes back to my original vision, Brian. My original vision was to be something grand. I said, "I want my title to be Queen." They said, "No. You can't." I said, "My people."
You're kidding me.
No. So I did a 90-day trial with him. We all loved each other, and I worked for him for 14 years. So
wow.
I worked in every aspect of the business. I just wore a ton of different hats.
Huh. Awesome. Very cool. Peter.
Let's see. I'm Greek.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have one career, and I was going to be in a restaurant business. And I was in restaurants ever since I was 12 years old. I grew up in the restaurant industry. Then I graduated from the University of Kentucky with a bachelor's degree in basically HR. I found myself as a headhunter after that. Then I found myself managing a restaurant in Griffin, Georgia. Brian, do you know where Griffin, Georgia is?
No.
Somewhere between Atlanta and the Civil War. And I did that for a couple of years. Then I left and moved to Fort Myers, Florida, where my parents were, and became a banker. So I was repo man for about 9 months, a collection guy. Then I became a lender, then a commercial lender. Then our bank got bought, and I had this crazy idea. My dad always thought I'd make a good c.p.a., whatever that is. And I ended up leaving the balmy coast of Fort Myers, Florida, for the balmier coast of Cleveland, Ohio, and went to Case Western Reserve University, got my master's degree in accountancy, major nerd. Found myself working at Price Waterhouse until they went, "You're not very good at this." After about a couple of years, you don't look at your audit papers and use a pen. You're supposed to use a pencil. and then I left there, went into industry, went to work for Victoria's Secret catalog, not as a model, but thank you for thinking about that.
Oh, right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Me too.
Was there for 5 years, but I was in finance for only like 9 months. I was an international circulation manager, where Murphy's Law truly exists when we tried to open the Japanese market. It was so bad. Then I found myself after that doing some consulting work, and then finding myself as a professor an adjunct professor at 3 universities here in the Columbus area, then hired full time and did about 10, 11 years in that. And in 2010, I went, well, what haven't I done in a while or ever? Let me start my own business. And I wanted to start a speaking business. And from that, I told my friends when I wrote my first book, I said, I got a book. And they went, does it come with crayons, Pete? Is it a cocktail thing kind of book? I went, no, it's like a real book with real words and no pictures. And they were all very shocked about that. And so I've held 7, 8 different careers in my lifetime, and it's just been fun.
Huh.
This is absolutely fun.
Huh. That is very interesting. I mean, I don't know where I could ask so many questions. So I don't even know where to go. But let's I want to make sure that we notify or we recognize some people that recognize some people that have joined. So one of our friends, Linda Casera, has joined. So thank you so much, Linda.
Morning, Linda.
Good morning. And then I also want to encourage anyone else that's online. If you're online, put in a hashtag live. If you're listening to a replay, put in a hashtag replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. That's always interesting to be building this community that we have. It's so fun, and I really enjoy the opportunity to talk with people like Roxanne and Peter. But we do more of this. We do one of these every day. So having the community that are there, and so share this video out with what I'm trying to say is share the video out with as many people as you can think of, and just make the community as large as possible. And I'll also say that you can win a free copy of my book. Sometimes it does take a brain surgeon. If you put a picture in your timeline of you winking. Now, the winking part comes as a part of understanding who I am and what makes me unique. What you might think that what makes me unique is my one eye. Well, actually, it's not. What makes me unique is my positive personality. And how I'm able to share my story with other people in order to encourage them and to make their lives better. So when you're in this picture and you're winking, understand what makes you unique. So that's the whole idea. Because if you can understand what makes me unique, then you can understand what makes you unique. And if you need help with that, I want to make sure that I help you. So having said that, tell me, Roxanne and Peter, we're making this too formal. So I don't want to be too formal. So talk to me a little bit about what your biggest factor is in your success.
You can run with that one for a minute, Peter. Go ahead.
Fear of failure. I'm unemployable. When I went full time in 2010, I knew that I wasn't going to go back to a W-2 world. And if I did go back to a W-2 world, I'd be on the Today Show for all the wrong reasons. So, and I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs who go, I'm not going to fail at this. I'm going to do everything I can to be successful. And I get up I have a blast of what I do. I get up every day. I'm having fun. I'm driving. Even when the pandemic hit, I probably was down for 2 days, just kind of bummed out. But I said, this is an opportunity to redo my whole business and start seeing what it's going to look like past that. And so that's what keeps me going is I just don't want to fail. I don't want to go back to a W-2 job. I don't want to retire. I just love what I do.
You're unemployable. I love that.
I'm unemployable.
Totally agree with that, Peter. I'll tell you what, I've said that a lot in the last many, many years that I am totally unemployable as well.
I thought you said that Peter's unemployable.
Well, he is.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, he's absolutely unemployable, as am I. I mean, that's a strength, guys. That's really a strength.
It is.
So I agree with everything you said, Peter. I totally get that. I would say that for me, it's really 2 things. There's a lot of things that lead to success. All the things that Peter was saying, the perseverance, the dedication, the fear of failure, fear of success, all those things are success factors. But if you look at the overarching drivers for me, it was finding and falling in love with what I do. I am in love with what I do, with my leadership work and the people that I do it with. It's that And, we all get burned out. We all get tired. This stuff gets hard, especially in the year that we've just had. But when you truly love what you do and you have a driving passion for it, you guys have that. I know you guys. So you both have that. Our whole NSA family. I mean, think about the people. Think about the folks that we share in common as friends and family, if you will. We all have a passion for what we do, and that's why we have the determination and so forth that gets us there. The other thing is relationships. Without relationships, and I talk about this a lot in all of my leadership work and the consulting work that I do with clients and just among friends, relationships are the heart of everything that we do. Once we, establish those and move forward, it's just amazing to me. Good times, Brian, you know this, Pete, you know this too. Good times, bad times, in between times. Your relationships are what holds you together sometimes. Those friends, those people that rise to the surface. We've all had rough times, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know who's there. They got your back. So that to me is what the real success factors are.
I know. We talked a lot about NSA, National Speakers Association. Just so everyone on the line, make sure we understand. We're not talking about the people that listen. We're talking about the people that talk.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about what you think makes NSA so great.
The people.
Absolutely.
The network. The family that the local chapters bring or create, and then the reason why I wanted to become in a leadership role within our chapter is getting opened up to other leaders within the whole United States and globally, part of the National Speaker Association, the Global Federation, and just expanding my network, because it comes, like Roxanne said, it comes down to relationships.
Yeah.
And the more people we meet, the more people, how we interact with them, we can grow our businesses that way. And that's what I think the power of NSA brings.
It's an organization full of genuine people who really care about the folks who are involved, and even beyond that. I mean, it's the way that the organization is governed as well, with the foundation, the work with the foundation, and what a huge impact that part of the organization has on members. That's a beautiful thing. And the willingness, what I've found in the organization is anybody that I've spoken to or asked for information or for help with something is more than willing to give it. Just a real sharing, a real camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful energy in the organization.
I do want to add one thing, and it's the attitude. It's that positive attitude those in the NSA have.
Yeah.
A story at one point that I had this kind of a lump. Okay, it was a lump on my rump that they didn't know what it was, and actually they thought it was cancer.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to go down to James Hospital and have some tests done. Knock on wood, it wasn't. But I remember walking into James being a little freaked out, and I went, "Hey, wait a minute. When I get through this, I'm going to have one hell of a story to tell on stage."
That's right.
And it just kept that smile on my face as I went through this process of determining, did I have cancer or not? Yeah. It just kept that positive mental attitude. I think that's something else that the organization brings.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, I've been very, very fortunate through these video calls that I do daily. I've met a lot of NSA people that I never would have met any other way. So it's been great to expand my network. So, yeah. What are you drinking this morning, Peter? What's in that coffee cup?
For what you need to know, it's just coffee.
What kind of coffee?
Keurig coffee from Kirkland.
Yeah. The old Costco brand, right?
The old Costco brand, exactly.
And Roxanne, do you have anything in your cup?
Dunkin'. I get the big orange cans of Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yeah.
And that's what I make every morning. I have this wonderful little coffee maker. And so I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Is
I
it
love
already
it.
ground?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but I also get beans. I also grind my own beans when I feel like I want to be a little bit more, I don't know, interesting about it.
Well, that's good. That's good. I've had my coffee as well. I'm on water right now. But enough about me. Let's talk about you.
What would you like to know, Brian? What do you want to know?
Any question?
I'm interested to learn more about you, but I wonder what's the best advice you've ever gotten.
Don't take yourself so seriously.
And when I first got at NSA, I think it was Patrick Donadio said, keep your day job.
Right.
Keep your day job until you get to the point where your part-time job and your day job are competing for your attention. Then you have to make a decision.
Right.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Right now, I mean, I feel that. So, yeah, interesting.
I would say the other thing that I've heard, Brian, that that is a little bit more on a serious side, I guess, is to really truly believe in yourself and in what you in the capacity you have to achieve anything that you set out to achieve. Those are easy words to say, but it's really hard to do as you go through life, right? Is remembering that, you know what, you got this, you can do this, you can step up. It speaks to confidence and courage. So that's when I do a lot of work with women in leadership. And I find that that's one of the most important things to work with them on, is developing that really core of self-belief.
But don't you think? I mean, yes, I'm a big proponent of self-talk, but don't you think that a lot of that talk also has to come from the people you're around? So you need to make sure you're surrounding yourself with those people that will be able to do that.
Absolutely. One of my friends actually sent me a shirt that says it's a sweatshirt, and we were having many conversations about this over the years. And this shirt showed up, and I just fell over laughing. It says, "Underestimate me. That'll be fun." So I use that as a mantra now with my women groups. I buy them all cups that say that, "Underestimate me. That'll be fun. Bring it on. Do that."
I love the intonation in your voice when you say that.
Uh-huh. That's the way I hear it. That's the way I hear it when I do that.
Don't you find that interesting? Because at times, I think of how you can read and see different texts or emails, and you read them in a certain way, but then if you read them in a different way,
it changes the whole meaning of it, the whole tone of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that's interesting that you're obviously more adapt to this and aware of this from a theological perspective, or a theatrical perspective. Yeah. Right. So that's very interesting. Interesting to me. So tell me, what do you think the next level of your success looks like?
Well, you have a vision, Peter? I have a vision. Yeah. I'll jump on that one. Sorry, Peter.
Go ahead. Jump on that.
Oh yeah, I have a plan. Oh yeah, this next leveling up goes to the world opening up. That'll have something to do with it. Doing a lot more speaking and writing and consulting and coaching at high levels in organizations. There's just so much that, oh gosh, you learn so much as you go through your career and your life, and especially being an entrepreneur. And as we all know, right, as the three of us know, having your own business, that it's not for the weak of heart, right? Yeah. But I really see the vision is having an opportunity to share with larger audiences going forward.
And so share with larger audiences. So more of what you do now with the leadership, or is there other things you also want to work on?
There's a lot of things I want to work on. There are some products I have in the works. There's some things that I'm working on, but it all stems from the leadership piece. Yeah.
Awesome.
Can I leverage off of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I agree with everything she said. But
Yes,
as it relates to what I do, so I'm working on my third book, and it's going to be the working title is Improv for the C-Suite, and how improv is a leadership tool that it's easy to do, but it's hard to execute daily on it because of that self-talk and maintaining the yes and improviser's mindset, as well as I've got a new tagline for myself. That tagline is I switch on light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I switch on light bulbs two ways. One, through the improv, and two, through the thing that most everybody I've ever met hates, and that's the word accounting. I've got a surefire way that I can teach anybody the basics of accounting in 6 hours so they can be better business people within their organizations. So getting that voice out, getting that next level is getting past the image, the bad image that accounting has, and make people realize it's really not that hard. You just have to teach it in a different way.
So how do you teach it differently than most people?
We don't use accounting books. We don't say those words like debit, credit, and things like that. We teach it visually.
And assets.
We do talk about assets. We do talk about liabilities and equity and revenue and expenses, but it's visually done. It's not a PowerPoint. It's visually done. And so I got a master's degree in this stuff. And when I first saw the demonstration, I was just sitting in my chair like this. And the guy goes, "Are you okay?" I went, "Nobody's ever taught it to me this way. And I got a master's in it. This is the secret sauce. This is so simple the way you guys are doing it. I've been successful with just starting out with this and working with folks and teaching them. They would say, "I don't want to take an accounting course. I'd rather have a root canal done without any Novocaine or anything."
Right.
6 hours later, they're going, "Huh, I understand it now. And I've been having dreams about my balance sheet at night."
Huh.
So,
wow. Well, maybe there's something there for me because I struggle with the accounting as well. So, that's on me.
So I made this deal to a colleague of mine. I said, "Give me 6 hours. And if you don't walk away knowing more than you started with, I will refund your money plus give you 10%. Wow. I'm that confident in this delivery method.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple minutes left here in our call, but tell me, what would you want our listeners to? So typically, our listeners are entrepreneurs. They're people that are much like us, that are trying to make our way in the world. Sometimes they're at work, sometimes they're in work, but they're looking just for some other relief. And what would you say? What would you tell them that we haven't told them already?
Say yes to as many things as you can. Explore every opportunity that's out there, even if you doesn't think it's the right opportunity. Accept failure as not something bad, but as a learning experience. I mean, we all fail at so many things. And we tend to say, I find myself times to say no. I went, no. What if I say yes? What's the possibility that could happen? And when I've done that, a couple of times, pretty important things have landed in my lap. So don't turn things down. Just keep an open mind and say yes a lot. And then
I love that.
Follow it with and.
Yeah.
Follow it with and. Always follow it with and. I love that. And what I would say is kind of along those same lines. Look at your life and what you are doing. What are you doing in the same way that doesn't work anymore? Okay? Are you continuing to do things just because you've always done them that way? Take a step back and look at it and say, wait a minute. We always were told if it ain't broke, don't break it. I say if it ain't broke, break it. See if you can make it better. See if you can make it better. Smash it down, right? If it worked great before and you can't make it any better, bring it back the way it was. But really look at your whole life. What are you doing? Because it's habit, because it's rote, because it's just there. Is that really serving who you genuinely and authentically are? And is that really helping you to achieve your full potential? Is it who you are today? Or is it what you were then? Where are you going with it? Where have you been? Where are you? Where are you going? And then say yes to it. Say yes to everything and see what happens.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for both of you for joining.
Oh,
I truly appreciate it. We'll definitely do this again. So
I hope so. It was
Yes.
fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
I am going to send you both back to the green room, but I want to talk to you after I close out the show. So hang on.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Wow. What another great show. I love it. We've got so much good coming up beyond Roxanne and Peter. So today we have Allison Core is going to be joining us for what used to be called Stroke of Genius. Now we call it Radical Vision for Disabilities. So that is a great show that will be starting at 11:30 Eastern today. So please join me for that. We've got great shows coming up next week as well. More great speakers, more great interviewees. So look forward to that. And as always, keep one eye on the road. Talk to you soon. Bye.